Hi, I'm Jackson Crawford. I'm an Old Norse specialist, previously teaching at several universities, now presenting on YouTube about Norse language myth and sagas and runes and all that stuff for anybody in the general public who wants to know about it, supported by my generous community of Patreon donors. Now, I've often been in the position of being kind of a killjoy to people, not only because I had to stop taking requests for runic translations a long time ago, but also because I'm often at pains to point out that the Elder Futhark runes were not used to write the language that we call Old Norse. We have to remember, Elder Futhark is actually elder than Old Norse. Right? Old Norse wasn't old to the people who spoke it. Old Norse was just the language they spoke. They usually called it Danska, Danish, or Norröna, Northernish. And it had a preceding language stage too, right? One day the language I'm speaking will be, old to something else. So that preceding stage is usually called Proto-Norse, and of course it's preceded itself by the not very different from Proto-Norse, Proto-Germanic, which is the ancestor not just of Old Norse, but also of Old English, Old High German, Gothic, all of the Germanic languages. And Elder Futhark was used to write Proto-Germanic, and then later Proto-Norse, but by about 700, we're talking about Old Norse, and then using the Younger Futhark to write it. So inscriptions in the Younger Futhark do sometimes have the gods' names in Old Norse. So we find, for example, the name of Odin and Thor in Younger Futhark. We don't often find the names of the gods in Elder Futhark, so in Proto-Norse or Proto-Germanic. So I've had to often reconstruct them, but I don't think my reconstructions will be particularly controversial. So what I'm going to do is, after a quick word from my sponsor, I'm going to show you some of the names of the gods as they would have been written in, say, a late Proto-Germanic, early Proto-Norse in Elder Futhark, together with the Old Norse form to make it a little bit more familiar to you. And then I'm going to give you some stanzas from the Poetic Edda that are often requested, but in Proto-Norse and Elder Futhark. Those are going to include the so-called prayer. It's prayer-like from Sigurdriva Mál, Hofmál 38 and Hofmál 77. And that Hofmál 77 is also in a video that I made about the differences between Old Norse and Proto-Norse, which I'll link in a card at the top right for people who want more of that linguistic information. Now, for this video, I am going to be assisted by a local buffalo herd that I know pretty well. Keep in mind, I did not approach these buffalo. The buffalo approached me. You ought not to approach buffalo on foot. Never do that. Even I, who am very familiar with this herd, I would never approach a buffalo on foot. They will charge you, and they can kill you.
Wild animals are best enjoyed by watching, not handling.
Here's a kid doing cool stuff. Don't do that stuff.
So just be aware this was done under pretty controlled circumstances by experienced people and experienced buffalo. Odin, Woðanas, Thor, Thunaras, Baldur, Baldras, Freyr, Fraujas, or Yngvi, Ingwas, Freyja, Fraujo, Heimdallr, Heimdallas, Tyr, Tiwas, Vidar, Víðegæsas, Loki, Loka, Frigg, Friu, Njordr, Nerthus, Ullr, Wulfas, Hönir, Honjas, Idun, Idunthis, the Norns, Nornir, Nornis, including Urður, Worthis, Skuld, Skuldu, and Verdandi, Verdando, Valhol, Valhallu, Valkyrie, Valkyria, Volkuzia, Berserker, Berserkis, Oskarth, Ansgardes, Midgardr, Midgardas, Heilas Dagas, Heilas Dagas Sunjus, Heilu Nachtu Ach Nepti, Un Ræthams Auganums Blited Unkis, thana wegi auch gefedd sitiandams segizi. Hylais ansius, hylos answeniun. Hylusu yainu philunutiu foldu. Mathla auch manawitja gefedd unkis mariams twaim. Ook lac nias handu mythano livum. Weipnam sinams, ne scalemanas waliu an, fatiae gangan framosa, thiu at unwissat esat wittun, when nahis werthid an wegims utae, gaisas umbi darfu guman. Deuidd fehu, deuian friandis, deuidd selvas samo. Eka white ainano thatane aldragan deuidd, domas umbi dauthano huariano. All right, well, from beautiful Wyoming, we wish you all the best.